Hello guys. This is Shar. Welcome back to my channel. Now I'm here to comment on yesterday's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, right away, the episode picked up right from when Mel and Martell and the kids were in Destin at the beachfront home, and he springs on Mel that he has invited Marceau and Letitia. And actually, their kids were with them because they were in, um, I forgot, some part of Florida that's obviously like hours or less, or minutes from Destin. And Mel is obviously upset. She's tripping, like, what? Not upset, but she's just like, what? Why would you do that? Why would you do that without calling me? Da 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 da. So, in a quick confessional, Martell basically is like, well, we had the dinner and everyone came to meeting of the minds, pretty much. And, if any unresolved issues that Mel and Letitia have, they should be able to talk through them, yada, yada, yada. Not the time, not the place. She didn't want to be bothered with Letitia. No frenemies. You know what I'm saying? So he is extremely foul for doing that, in my opinion, and not even telling her. That would piss me off. And Mel is a good one because when I get evil, I'll go up in a room somewhere, or better yet, I would have took my kids and left and called them and was like, "Are they gone yet?" You know what I mean? And then came back. Don't play me like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, so and then I know she probably had to stay because they were filming. It's the show, so she had to stay. I get it. But so yeah. Anyway, they come by. They have their kids. It looks like the kids are really, really excited to see each other. So that's nice. That's good. And they're out there on the beach. Well, no, before they go out to the beach. Well, no, they were out on the beach. They were playing around. Looks like they basically left the kids out there to be at the beach. Um, Martell's mom hopefully was out there with them. I think she was. And so Martell basically says, well, let's all go in the house. So they all go in the house to talk and chit chat, yada, yada, yada. Um, and, it seems like the topic of conversation that never really dissolved between the four of them while they were there is marriage. Mel and Martell's marriage. And so they were just talking about marriages and relationships and all this stuff. And I'm like, ooh, isn't that a hot topic? Like, I wouldn't even talk about that. I mean, what if they start to argue about old stuff or whatever? But apparently, that's all they felt comfortable with talking about, I guess. At least to Scott, seemed like that's all they really felt comfortable with discussing, especially Tisha. That's all she wanted to talk about, what was relationships and the marriage and how did she come to this point and how did she get here? And I was like, oh boy. And so they played a little game where it's basically like know each other. Do the couples know each other, and what their answers was. And I'm not really surprised that Mel and Martell did very well because they were close. It's just that and they knew each other well. It's just that they something got lost in the sauce about the whole sexual thing, or whatever. But they know each other really well, so I'm not surprised that they did well in the questions. I think they got one or two wrong. And then Marceau and Letitia played it. Now I was surprised that they did theirs pretty good. They were pretty good too. But the thing is, Mel and them wasn't really asking them any real questions about the relationship. Really, they was just like, who cook and who hang up the clothes, and I mean, okay. But all in all, both of the couples know each other fairly well. And the episode wasn't really all that impactful, obviously, except for the moments where Martell and Melanie were out with their kids in the pool. It was a sentimental moment for me because I'm, just like most people are constantly saying, look how this man messed up his family. He had a beautiful family, and he's constantly reminiscing about it or whatever. He saves all these pictures in his phone. I'm thinking maybe he should print the dang on pictures and put them in a photo album but he likes to keep them in his phone or whatever. Which at one point he was showing Mel all these pictures, and she was like, "No, no, no, don't do that to me. Don't start reminiscing and showing me these pictures, da 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 da, because you do that ish all the time, and I'm not buying it. I just want to, live in the moment, enjoy this moment. You know what I mean?" But anyway, on to Kimmie. This was the other pertinent portion of the episode where Kimmie, I didn't know Kimmie had so much damn hair. Kimmie has a ton, or had a ton of hair. It was long. I can't tell if it was all that healthy or not. It was just kind of blown out or whatever. Obviously, it was a takedown of her braids because she wears wigs and things like that. But she has a lot of hair. Looks like it was very beautiful. Looks like she also has like a soft grade of hair as well. Um, which doesn't mean anything, but just looks like it's soft and curly or whatever. And she decided to cut her hair because she's getting 10 rounds of chemotherapy. And apparently, and as her being a nurse, she knows that I guess with that level of chemo, her hair will come out or thin or what have you. So she decided to spearhead that and just cut it all off. I was looking, me and my sister was looking at it, and we both said at the same time, I wouldn't cut my hair right now, in the very, very beginning. But, to each his own. I'm not criticizing Kimmie for doing that, of course. Excuse me, if she wants to, do that, that's fine. It's her hair. I don't know. I just don't know if I would do it early on like that. Me myself, I'm the like type that's like I gotta see it coming out first or see it breaking off first, and then I'll do it or whatever. Which yes, to each his own. But it was a sentimental moment. Her friends were there as a support group, a support system rather for her. It looks like they're going to give her hair, obviously, to maybe one of these charities or nonprofits that makes wigs out of human hair for other people that's going through chemo or maybe alopecia or something like that. And yeah, so I feel for Kimmie. I pray that this round of chemo can assist her and get rid of the malignancy and the cancer that she has in her breast. I remember my mom had breast cancer as well, and she had to get chemo, but I don't think it was that many rounds of chemo. I don't think it was 20. And my mom, she didn't really lose any hair. She didn't cut her hair. She didn't really lose any. It may have thinned a little bit. Um, yeah, it may have thinned a little bit, but she didn't really lose anything. And like I said, she didn't get 20 whole rounds of chemo. I can't remember how many she got, but it might have been half. It might have been about 10 rounds or something like that. But yeah. So yeah, let's all keep Kimmie in our prayers. Looks like Reese is doing his part, trying to be supportive and upbeat or whatever. And that's really, really what she needs. Even though people around her want to, cry because it's such a sad moment, you know, the more upbeat and normal that people can be around her, the more that her spirits can stay high and she can, try to the best of her ability to keep positive thoughts. So, yeah, let's just hope that her support system can help keep her uplifted through this time. And you guys tell me, what do you think about Kimmie cutting all her beautiful hair off? Would you do it so early on in the process? And also tell me what you guys think about Martell bringing over the Scots. Do you think that was wrong of him? Or do you feel like it was justified because they all had the dinner and he figured, oh, they're all cool now? Maybe Mel has not really told him her deepest, darkest thoughts as it relates to Letitia or whatever, and so he really didn't know, so he didn't really feel it was a big deal. Um, let's go down in the comments and discuss that. Also, Marceau, it seems like Marceau could read a room. Like he saw and felt the, I wouldn't necessarily say, well, you could say tension, or more so discomfort, or uh, I don't know if it was tension. It was just awkwardness. That's what I feel like it was. It was just like awkward moments when the four of them first came into the house and started sitting around. And, of course, Martell wants to constantly reminisce about the marriage. And it was like that was getting on Melanie's nerves because they kind of kept trying to imply, like, oh, yeah, she called him over, you know, and brought him on the trip so they can kind of rekindle and kind of try to get their marriage back or their relationship back. And that's like the furthest thing from her mind. You know what I mean? But they kept trying to imply that, and she was really, really getting irritated by that. And I believe that Marceau could tell. That's why in the beginning he was kind of sitting there and rubbing his head and kind of kept eyeing Mel on the corner of his eye, like looking over there at her, like she irritated. I mean, it's like, how the heck can Marceau notice it, but Martell can't? And he was the one married to her for 13 years or 12 and a half years or whatever. It's like he noticed it, but Martell didn't, sign that he's just not in tune with Mel and her mannerisms and her demeanor. And maybe someone like Marceau, who's just kind of someone looking from the outside, can just pick up on her irritation or whatever. Of course, dingbat dummy over there, she didn't notice it either. Like, she just kept saying, well, okay, what about, how did you guys get to this point, and what made you come to Destin, and what company did you use to get the house? I mean, it's just like, I mean, I know she didn't say that, but it's just like, she is so out there in space. In my opinion, is just not even funny anymore. But it actually is funny. But yeah, so you guys tell me in the comments, what did you think about all these points, and what did you think about the episode overall? Please drop down in the comments. Thanks for coming back today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will check you guys out later. Bye.